Hey guys, how are you guys doing? It's Ashley Altador. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys had a really great weekend, a great week, and let's get into it. So what's going on, guys? This is my second video. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me on my first one. I really truly appreciate that a lot. First of all, I was so scared, recording it. I was scared, posting it up. I was scared even after the video was already up. I couldn't even watch my own video on YouTube because I felt like the more I watched it, the more self-conscious I was getting, and I just don't really like looking at myself on video like that. So thank you guys so much. All the DMs, the Instagram posts, the text messages, the words of encouragement, words of support, even from people I don't really talk to like that, shared my stuff. Thank you guys so much. I really truly appreciate that. It really means a lot to me because it kind of takes away my nerves, one, and two, it gives me the motivation to keep going. So thank you so much. The show that I'm going to be talking about is called Lupin on Netflix. It's a French show. It takes place in France, and it's like an international show, so wherever in the world that you watch it, it kind of, I guess, dubs it in your language. So it's native in French, and obviously I watched it in English, and I did watch it with subtitles even though it was in English. So one thing I realized when I watch shows with subtitles, because I never did this before, so when I watch shows with subtitles, it's a lot easier for me to pay attention to the minor details of what's going on. I always felt like subtitles were kind of unnecessary because I felt like, why am I watching something and reading at the same time? That's like too much. So I just didn't want to do that. But yesterday when I was watching the show, I actually watched the entire show in full because it was only 5 episodes. So I watched it in full yesterday, and when I had the subtitles, I'm like, wow, like I'm really getting, little tiny stuff, and that's important when you're watching a show, especially when you rewatch it. Does that ever happen to anybody when you rewatch a show and then you miss stuff from the first time you watched it? That happens to me all the time. So this show, Lupin, so yeah, it's 5 episodes, like I said, and it's in parts. It doesn't even have seasons, it's parts. Some shows do that. They do seasons. Most shows do seasons, and this show did parts. And I felt like that's interesting to see because I feel like the last time I saw a show where they did that was when I watched The Get Down, and they had part 1 and part 2, and then each part had episodes. So in this show they did that, and there was chapters. The episodes were called chapters. So it's chapters 1 through 5, and I think part 2 is coming soon, probably this summer. I don't know. I did see that they confirmed part 2 was coming, so I'm very excited about that because the show to me was really good. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. The thing is about when I watch certain TV shows, I feel like in order for me to really truly enjoy a show, it has to be the first episode. The first episode has to grab my attention. You understand? So after the first episode, I have to come out of it like, yo, like this was fire. I have to, I need more. What's gonna happen next, And I felt like this show did that for me. It's not a lot of shows that do that, and I felt like this show did it. So, okay, first things foremost, the main character, he's played by Omar Sy, or C. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'm assuming, I don't know what country he's from, but I think that's how you pronounce it, C. Omar C. First thing I noticed when I saw him, first of all, he's very handsome. Second of all, he looks like Idris Elba. Am I the only one that notices how he looks like Idris Elba? I don't know. It was the demeanor, it was the height, it was the walk, the talk, the mannerisms. It reminded me of Idris Elba. And I feel like, everybody has a little doppelganger out there. And I felt like Idris Elba was the one for him. So yeah, so I felt like he looked like him. So he's the main character of the show. The show focuses on him. So his character, he's this like professional grand master thief, and that's basically his thing. And he basically lives his life from a book called Arsène Lupin. I don't know if you guys have heard of it in real life, but I mean, it is a real book, but I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but I've never heard of it prior to this show. And it was I think that's really important, because this is how you know that books are really important and books are very powerful and influential, because sometimes books have a way of kind of shaping and molding how you decide to live your life. It doesn't matter what kind of books it is. It could be a motivational book, a fictional book. Books have a certain way of kind of giving you, the tools that you need to live your life. And I feel like for this specific show, it did that for him. So the book Arsène Lupin basically is about a master thief who basically lives his life all smooth, and he's like this big con man, and he never gets caught. And that's how the main character lives his life. The main character's name is Hassan. So what happens, the main plot that happens in the show is, so 25 years ago, right? He's 14 years old. He's living with his dad. You don't really see his mom too much. I mean, well, she's barely mentioned in the show because she passed away. So Hassan is 14 years old. He's living with his dad. His dad is an immigrant from Senegal. He brings his son to France to basically live a good life, better life. You know how that goes. People with immigrant parents, you understand. They want to live a better life or whatever. So the dad takes a job as a chauffeur. He's a chauffeur for this white family. They're rich. They're called the Pellegrinis. Now the Pellegrini family is, so it's Mrs. Pellegrini, Mr. Pellegrini, and they have a daughter named Juliet. So basically what happens is they own this really elaborate, expensive necklace. The necklace is supposed to be worth like over 200 euros or something like that. And what caught my attention is it reminded me of the movie Ocean's 8. I don't know if most of you guys have seen it. I mean, that's one of my favorite movies. So in Ocean's 8, it was kind of the same thing. I noticed, in that movie, they go to the Met Gala, they steal the necklace. But the difference is in that movie, everything was a success. Whereas in this show, he goes and he steals the necklace and then everything goes wrong. You understand? So everything goes wrong, and then it causes a whole bunch of problems, and it causes him to figure out a whole bunch of answers as to what really happened to his dad and who's really responsible for landing him in prison. So the dad is wrongly accused of stealing the necklace. That kind of gave me like a racist undertone, like, okay, this is what it's giving. This expensive necklace is gone, it's missing. Police are involved, obviously, because it's worth millions of euros or dollars. And the dad is sent to prison. That was really sad seeing that. The dad is sent to prison, and he basically commits suicide in prison. And that was really sad to see. Hassan is 14 years old at the time, and he sees his dad in prison. Then he gets shipped off to he gets shipped off to like group home because he's 14. He can't be by himself. He has to be under some sort of foster care. So he has a group home, and then he goes to this really elaborate private school, which Mrs. Pellegrini sent him to because she felt guilty that his dad went to prison for basically the wrong reasons. And she felt guilty because at the time when the dad was going to jail, she could have had this situation where she could have vouched for him, because she knows that he didn't take that necklace. But I guess her husband, I don't know what sort of dynamic she has with her husband. She was kind of scared. This show, to me, this is one of those shows where I kind of watch every once in a while, because if anybody knows me, they know I like comedy shows. What type of shows do I like? I like comedy shows. I like shows with like scandalous drama. I like reality shows. I love reality shows, my guilty pleasure. Especially the really ratchet ones. So this is one of those shows with that genre, like the action filled, it's kind of edgy. So I felt like, let me check it out, because it was trending. So I felt like, let me check it out. So I would give it a solid 9 out of 10, only because the first episode, it starts out really solid. Everything is there, all the points are there. Everything you need to know is in the first episode. And then you see like a series of, basically a sequence of him trying to figure out what happened to his dad and stuff like that. That basically goes on throughout the rest of the episodes until episode 5. Oh, and also you see that he has a son and he has an ex-wife, the ex-wife that he met in private school that Mrs. Pellegrini sent him to. This is one of those shows to me where I just really enjoyed it. For me to not even really indulge in that type of genre and really enjoy it, it was, you know, it was pretty good. So I feel like if you haven't watched it, you should definitely get into it. Like I said, racist undertones. Another thing that kind of questioned me in the show was the relationship between the daughter, I think her name was Juliet, the relationship between her and her father. I don't know, those who watch the show, I don't know if you guys realize that, but it kind of gave me weirdo vibes. Don't you guys? So there was a scene where Juliet confronted her dad about it because she kind of realized, you know, this is going on too far and stuff like that. She's asking her dad for answers, and you know, the dad is, you know, he starts caressing her face and stuff like that. I don't know what that was giving, but it was giving, you know, sexual abuse type stuff. I don't know what kind of grooming relationship that was. I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed. I could be reaching here, but I noticed that in the show. And she's also married to, like, present day, she's also married to somebody that's friends with her dad. I guess he's an officer. She's married to her dad's friend, and then she has this weird structure with her dad. So I don't know. That to me gave off bad vibes. Asan, the main character, his name is Asan. Another thing I noticed about him, he's very smart and he's very suave, just like that character in the Arsène Lupin book. He's very smart, so he knows how to kind of outsmart the police, and he knows how to get himself out of situations. Kind of reminds me of Tariq from Power. He knows how to outsmart people and get away with certain things because he has, like, you know, he has a certain mentality, you know. So I like seeing characters like that, you know. I'm really looking forward to part 2 because there was a really big cliffhanger that happened at the end of chapter 5 or episode 5. And yeah, I really want to see what happens. You know, the first episode, it did grab me, but I gotta be honest with you, the reason I gave it a 9 is because around like episode 4 or episode 3, I was kind of like, not bored, but I just felt like there was a lot of fluff going on, and I don't really like when shows do that. You know, when they already gave you the main thing, so now they're just kind of filling in. So hopefully part 2 is as exciting, and you know, I think the show really holds up to the hype in, you know, in general. So if you guys haven't watched it, you should definitely talk about it and watch it. And yeah, so this was my first review. So don't kill me in the comments, please. You know, if you have constructive criticism, this is my first one, so let me know how I did, because I'm still a little bit nervous, but I'm trying to branch out of that. As you can see, I'm gonna be doing more shows in the future. I'm definitely gonna be doing shows that I personally enjoy as well, so I can really be comfortable talking about it. So yeah, or if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Any types of shows that you'd be interested in seeing me review or talk about or give analysis or commentary, that would be much appreciated. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to my video. Hope you guys have a great week ahead, and I will try my best to post another video around this time next week. So thank you so much. Have a good night.